Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ungainly Titan, and we're on the E75 of Mountain Pass. It's a very strong tier 9 game. A lot of my tier 9 games of the week that I was playing the tier 9s, they were a bit one-sided. They were either the team collapsed around you and you got wiped out, or you were in a situation where the enemy team collapsed around you and you were chasing damage. Which was a problem with the other tanks, but not really with the E75. I didn't have any spectacular games, but I didn't have any really bad games with the E75. Generally, they were pretty decent games, but this is probably one of the better ones. We're on Mountain Pass, and I decided I was going to push the one line, but so is everyone else pretty much. There's several tanks in front of me, all pushing the one line pretty strongly. And I wasn't going to hang around over here trading shots across the frozen riverbed. I mean, I'm perfectly willing to chance my arm with a hope shot if the opportunity arises, but I wasn't going to engage, not with this tank, and not with artillery in play either. If you have stealthier tanks or more mobile tanks, you could play peek-a-boom across the frozen lake there and let the heavy tanks fight it out in the corridor. But with the tank with good armour, you might as well make use of the armour and just take advantage of the corridor. Now there's plenty of tanks in front of me, though they seem to slow down. They seem to be thinking about defending here. I think this is a bad spot. I think if you're here, you might as well get to the corner if you can possibly manage it. But there's no point in hanging around further back, because you're actually giving the advantage to the enemy. And there are only two enemies visible. There's the T-29 and a VK4502B. And they're both formidable tanks in their own way and at their tier, but they're not enough for the mob that's coming down here, so it's just a matter of taking advantage of it. Now the VK4502 was crossing over there, so I thought, right, if I got a tracking shot in, the rest of the mob would come around and just kill it. But he does repair his tracks, and the rest of the mob don't do as much damage as one might have hoped, and I bounced one there off the side of the turret. But he's now down, he's now losing the hit points, because there are people coming in around him from different directions, and he can't survive that. Once you're surrounded, and once the frontal armour is no longer pointing at between him and most of the enemies, he's going to start taking damage big time. The T-29 has done his best, but he's gone as well, and now Zanoni further back is seen. He was probably playing peek-a-boom across the frozen riverbed, and there's the Waffenträger Panzer IV behind him, who again was probably at the same game. And it's all very well, I think, sniping across the valley when there are tanks going in force up the one line or down the one line, but if you're doing it and nobody's covering the one line, or you're covering it with just two tanks, then you're taking a huge risk that the enemy will just come at you mob-handed around the corner, and you're doomed pretty much, because you're caught often in the open without any cover, and you've been taken on piecemeal. Like, there was 4 tanks essentially defending this area on the red team, and if all 4 of them were at the corner, say on the 2A, was it J2 thereabouts, they might have held us. They certainly would have inflicted a lot more punishment than we've received. Now, I reckoned that there was enough tanks ahead that I wanted to intercept the ST1. I thought the ST1 was going to continue advancing. It's a pretty powerful tank, but the ST1 actually ran away as soon as I came down into the riverbed, and he's now in front of me, and he's taking punishment because he had his back turned to us. So we just got a tracking shot there. I haven't done any damage to him. I think it's my teammates that have done most of the damage, but he's now got himself into cover, and he's backed up by T-29 and possibly another tank as well. The T-29 isn't going to be much of a problem. It's the ST1 I need to get rid of. However, I've been tracked, and there's a tank destroyer after appearing. That's an AT-15, and that's probably more formidable, alright. Certainly more of a threat. So the ST1's after doing some actual damage there. So I need to get rid of him. I probably don't need to worry about the other two as much, although the AT-15 is such a high rate of fire that you have to be very careful about it. If you get caught or tracked in the open, especially if you're not optimally angled. Although I have a repair kit, I suppose I could take at least one hit, but it's the ST1 that I'm worried about. But he's shown too much of the side of the tank there, and we get rid of him. So with him out of the way, the other two are more manageable, and I'm going to use the ST1 for armor if the AT-15 is going to allow me. I just try and continue to put rounds through the commander's hatch. Don't know with this gun if I could penetrate it anywhere else. Possibly could with the top gun. I did manage to penetrate the T-29 from that angle through the upper front glacis, and I didn't think that I would. So the T-29 is backing off a bit more, and we've now gotten one through the commander's hatch of the AT-15. So I can push forward now that I have the two of them pushed back enough that I can get around here without being or taking too much fire. And now, if the T-29 keeps going this way, I should be able to get flanking shots onto him. There he is, and we get one in. He's a one shot now at this point, and I haven't taken any further damage. That's tracking damage. The AT-15 is a one shot as well, but I missed with that one, I think. And the enemy's melted. There's no more tanks left. There's just the AT-15 and the artillery. So AT-15, the T-29's been taken out by allies, I suppose, coming down the ice road, and the AT-15 was taken out by the same allies, and the artillery is, well, it's nowhere to be seen. So we're advancing on the artillery's position. But yes, this is the kind of games I've been getting a lot of. You know, you'd either do a decent amount of damage because you were in the thick of it or kept up with the fight, and the artillery just suicided, or you didn't get a decent amount of damage because you were chasing the fight, or you were on a team that just melted around you and you either got overwhelmed early, in which case you did nothing really, or you managed to inflict damage on the people that were dealing with you, depending on the tank you had, of course, and various other things. So we did over 3k damage because second class mastery and a Confederate medal. But generally with the E75, yeah, I had pretty good games, and we came number one by experience. And other people had scored pretty decent scores as well. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you haven't already done so, please give the channel a subscription. I'll catch you all again soon. Bye for now.